everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming to the channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. I had to come here, I had to come here and take a break from my sewing and make this video regarding another viral video that I want to apologize already because I might get very upset about it. It's a very upsetting video of a doctor's office where a group of medical professionals, if you can call them professionals, decided to make a video about what patients leave behind after they go in for a GYN visit, for a gynecology visit, okay? And that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give you a trigger warning. For me, it's very upsetting because, when I see things like that, going to a doctor's is a very vulnerable part of our life, and for people to make fun of that, right? To make fun of what happens to you or how your body reacts to things and make fun of it, and then now it's going viral, right? Because God is exposing everything. I think God is exposing the heart of men in this season. It's been going on for a while now that we see, like I told you guys in my previous video, we see things that in the past people will get away with, and now that has been removed, and now people they're basically exposing themselves, and I believe that is God doing that so that we know what the heart of man has, right? And you need to remember, God is not mocked, right? And people walk around with double faces, doing things, thinking that nobody sees them, and now they're making videos about it and they're going viral, right? Before I continue, I wanted to give you a trigger warning. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been subscribing, actually who has been following the podcast on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for being here. Everybody also, please don't forget to follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts. And of course, everybody who's watching the video right now on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for being here and subscribing. So the viral video comes from a GYN office, right? A OBGYN office located in Santa Barbara, California, I believe. And the office is called Samsung Healthcare. Okay, let me read to you guys. If you're watching the video on YouTube, I'll try to put some of this still photos of this viral video, but if you're listening on the podcast, feel free to come to Julissadesigns YouTube channel so you can have a better understanding of what it is that I'm speaking about. Samsung Healthcare employees are under fire for a social media post allegedly mocking patients, okay? Employees of the Samsung clinic have gone viral for posts they made to social media that appear to be mocking patients. Numerous readers in posts on Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. This video has gone viral, right? It's all over the place. They're saying that, they decided to take photos. The healthcare workers in this clinic thought that it would be funny to take, when you go into an exam room and they have the where you sit, and then they have this long thing of tissue paper or paper that they have there that obviously gets removed with every patient, right? So they're taking a photo of what is left behind, what bodily fluid, listen to this, bodily fluids are left behind on that exam table after a patient goes in for their exam, right? Because it's 2025 and people thought that these healthcare professionals thought it would be funny to mock them and say, this is what our patients leave to us as gift, right? And it's not just one healthcare professional, if you can call them that, who decided that would be a funny thing to do. It's a group of them, which is, I don't know if it's worse to look at some of the photos that they posted or to see how a collective group of people, right? That's why you have to be so careful who you surround yourself with, because it lays on you. Whoever you surround yourself with, you eventually begin to speak like them. You still behave like them. You begin to do things just like them, right? And that's biblical. I think everybody knows bad company corrupt good manners, right? And we see it, we see it you speak with somebody one day and the next day or maybe within a month you see them again, you're like, what happened to you? Like, why are you speaking like this? You sound like so and so, that person that does a lot of evil things, right? It rubs on you so fast. And this is what's shocking about this video, is that it's a group of medical professionals in a collective way all decided that this would be a funny thing to post, right? So let me continue to read, you guys. It says here that online commenters stated that they were able to trace a social media account and its public posting to an employee of the Samsung clinic who worked at the urgent care facility located at 215 Peseras Lane in Santa Barbara. It says here that give me one moment. I apologize, everybody. I think I got some stuff confused, but I guess this was posted and people online were so outraged by it that they started to trace back to find out exactly which social media page this came from, and because everything's being exposed, so they were able to come up with it very quickly. So it has been deleted by whoever posted it, but as we know it, once it's on the internet, it's forever basically. So it's called the Samsung Clinic, and that clinic is now being overseen by Southern Health, and this facility is now known as Southern Health Patient Urgent Care. The accounts have since been deleted, like I told you, and posts have been removed, but not before local residents were able to take the screenshots and share them online and on TikTok, right? And people are saying, well, some of the posts in this video are reference a gift, quote unquote gift, that patients leave healthcare workers in what appear to be bodily fluids left behind on a paper sheet covering a bed exam in a room. The workers pose and point, okay? They're posing and pointing to it and mocking it. I don't understand, like, some of the stuff that's happening. You're like, who raised these people? And like I said, it's not just one person, it's a collective group of them, right? They're pointing at it, saying that this is what the patients leave for them. And the captions say, make sure to leave your healthcare workers sweet gift like this, right? With that sarcastic tone. Online commenters found at least 6 photos posted publicly that reference the same topic, with additional comments added, such as guess the substance, right? And putting the hashtag FYP, which we know once you do that, it's going to be seen by a lot of people, that is meant to increase visibility on the TikTok algorithm, like I just said, basically. Since the post went viral over Labor Day weekend, many local residents have called the employees who took part in the photos to be reprimanded or fired. And so these are some of the people are saying, nurse to nurse, you should be ashamed of yourself for the way you embarrass your patients, yourself, your employer, and your co-workers, your family, and the entire nursing community. Respectfully find a new career, one person posted. Another person said, this violates patient privacy and might be illegal. Samsung, the clinic, needs to respond to this to ensure the community feels safe at their facility. So like I said, this is a very crazy video, and looking at the photos and seeing all of that, thanks be to God that they're not posting patients' information, right? Because that would be a HIPAA violation. But not only would be a HIPAA violation, would be a very shameful thing for a patient to see, their name on that, right? But what do you think? You put yourself together, you show up to your exam, right? Like I said, it's a very vulnerable state. We all have gone through it. Very, very vulnerable state to show up at a doctor's office, right? And for something like this to come out, right? These people that smile on your face, how you doing? How's everything? Is it, they always checking up on you, or like, well, some offices, right? They're like, how you feeling? You need anything? And then when you leave, then the mockery begins, right? And you think, as a person and living in this world, that God is not going to bring that out and it's going to expose it, that you're going to continue on with this fakeness of your life, right? Saying, feeling proud of yourself. Because you look at some of the photos, these people look like they're so proud of themselves. That's probably all they talk about, right? That's probably all they talk about in their break room, like talking about what the person left in the table and what so and so did, and how their mouth looks or something, how their body looks or something like this, right? And it's so sad to see something like that. And I think it all begins at home, right? Do people, like I said, do people do it because of peer pressure? Yes. Even in adult community, right? Because it's hard now to find people to say, wait a second, don't talk about somebody like that. That's not right. But everybody's so welcoming to be like, what happened? Tell me everything. She said that, she did that, she looked like that, and it's this big joke. And when does it stop? When do people, like, you would think bullying, adult bullying happens a lot. It happens in office places. It happens when you're, when you're even older. Sometimes people say, oh, it's just a bully in high school, or bully are only, in middle school and things like that. Adult bullying happens way past, your 18 years of age, right? Way past. You can see it in the workplaces. You see it everywhere, right? The crazy thing about it is this, like I said, is exposing that, one thing is a lot of people are taking jobs just because of the salary, not because they care, right? That it shows a lack of compassion for people, right? Because this is a crazy thing. We all have, just because you don't live that type of whatever, right? After you go for an exam doesn't mean that a family member of yours will do it, or like a child of yours, or your mom, or your father, things like this. Like nobody puts themselves in somebody else's shoes. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody says, wait a second. And like I said, the crazy thing about all these photos and being put in a video smacking patients, it's like you have about maybe 7-10 people there, including nurses, medical assistants, and doctors, making fun of that. Nobody of them decided to be like, hold on one second, this is not right. We shouldn't do anything like this, right? These people, like I said, they'll smile in your face, and then they talk about you when you leave. They mock you. Sometimes you look at people when they do evil things like this, right? Because it is playing for evil. It's like bullying to a different level, right? And you're like, wow, you have nobody in your mates that's saying to you, don't do that, because God sees you. And people justify their evil. People justify their evil doings all the time, right? In their eyes, it makes sense to them. Well, I'm only doing that because she was rude when she checked in or something. Oh, I'm only doing that. It's like, really? That's your justification? Somebody say like, yeah, you should do that. Take a photo. Before she goes, and you're supposed to take that sheet away and get it ready for the next patient, make sure you snap a photo, right? Because that should be your your life legacy. That should be your life legacy. Doing evil things and not thinking about that God is watching all of that. That you can be doing crazy stuff to somebody, justifying it, being okay in your head, and that person goes to bed, and before they go to bed, they pray to the Lord God Almighty, and you think nothing's gonna happen, like you're not gonna be exposed. That's never gonna happen to you, right? You already got 10 people convinced to do it, right? Because it usually starts with one person, right? Like I said, the longer you stay around people who have the type of mentality like that, where morals are taken away, the fear of the Lord obviously gone from that person, all of that from that person, and you can see it, right? Because if somebody is always criticizing patient the minute they leave, that person, there's something off with that person. Yet, because it makes you laugh, it makes your day go faster, you continue to entertain it. So when people make bad jokes like that, people want to stick around and say, let me be even worse and make another joke. And then now it's contaminating 9 other heads that thought this would be a good thing to do, right? And look what happened. Now they're being exposed. their employer is being exposed. Now their employer is being forced to take action, right? Because that's the right thing to do. This is unacceptable behavior of every kind. And like it comes to mind, like, man, when it comes to training something at a medical office, like, can you imagine all the training that people go through? They have to even tell people, hey, making fun of people bodily fluid should not be a thing, right? Are we on the same level here? No, you have to lay it out, because this is the society we live in right now. You have to lay it out, even the things that are just common sense like that, right? Because look at what happened, right? Look at what happened. Now the clinic, they came out already, because this post is everywhere. The clinic has come out already, gave a statement saying that person who posted that is somebody who doesn't work here anymore. Yeah, but she was in the office with you and she was posting all of that. See, they're singling out one person now, right? That's what I told you. It always starts with one person with a really bad idea. But the crazy thing about this post is that it contaminated everybody else, right? Everybody, there's 10 other heads that none of them, even including doctors, like they say in the article, nobody said, wait a second, guys. Like, that's making fun of our patients. And without our patients, we really have no job, right? Like, not only that, but like, you don't want that to happen to another, like to a family member of yours, right? The thing is, like, if that happens to a family member of them or a loved one, they'll be like, I'm suing them. They're not supposed, it's a HIPAA thing. They're not supposed to do that. But yeah, they're so welcome to do something like that for somebody else. So let me know, guys, how you think about this. Like I said, it's a very upsetting video. When I saw that, I couldn't believe something like that will happen, right? There are people who leave doctor's office and they go, and they have a whole calendar plan with treatment plans. They have to go to pharmacy, get prescription. They gotta go, they gotta ask people to pray for them. Like, going through difficult things in life, and then they're gonna do something like that because we gotta make something. We gotta make fun of that, right? And look at that, right? You are exposing your own self. Now it's gone viral. Now everybody knows where you work, your faces are, and what's in your heart, which is that's what came out of you, right? Everything, as the man thinks is in his heart, so is he, and this is what came out of that. Nobody there raised their hand and say, hold on 1 second, that's not right. So let me know, guys, what you think. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening to the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.